Hi everybody, and welcome to today's reading lesson for Thursday, May 28th. We have been reading fantasy fiction for about 2 weeks now, and some of you have done really good work with understanding what type of place your settings are, what type of characters we are learning about, what problems they're facing, and how they're dealing with those problems. Today we're going to look at slaying dragons, both literally and figuratively. In some fantasy stories, characters actually have to fight dragons in order to complete their quest. In other stories, while they may not have to fight dragons, they have to fight other characters, other problems, other situations in their lives in order to finish their quest or solve their problems. So today we're going to look at those dragons, and I'm going to put those air quotes around dragons. We're going to look at what are the characters really fighting. Are they fighting with an actual dragon that symbolizes another problem, such as fear or loneliness or poverty or maybe self-doubt? Or are they truly fighting an actual dragon? So let's look at our first character, Edmund Pevensie from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And his dragon, again in air quotes, I think what he's truly fighting is his position in his family. He doesn't like being one of the middle children, and he resents having older siblings tell him what to do and when to do it. He also rats them out to the White Witch, the evil villain of the story, so that he can gain power over his siblings. So in essence, he's really not fighting with the fantasy characters that you see in the book and in the movie. He's actually fighting his position in the family. He doesn't like being in the middle. I think he'd most likely rather be the oldest child so that he gets to tell other people what to do. Let's look at our story, Carter's Holler, and let's look at our main character, Jenny. I know that she was fighting some fantasy creatures in order to rescue her friend Tommy. But what is she actually fighting? Well, if you go back in the beginning of the story, it talks about her having visions and how she's different from others. And that difference can be fearful because they may make fun of her, they may ostracize her, they might not make her feel welcome. So she's fighting fear. She knows it's a dangerous place to go. She knows that she has to confront different groups and she's all by herself. She's a girl and she only has a limited amount of resources. So what is she truly fighting when those fantasy creatures come out? I think she's truly fighting fear. And I want you to let go of those misconceptions that they actually have to fight these huge big dragons or these huge problems. Problems can be very small and insignificant. They can actually be being, inward, not being outgoing enough to speak to people, or could be doubting yourself. Or it could be larger issues such as fighting poverty or fighting death. We're going to look at a few short films and we're going to discuss what the character is truly fighting, because we're looking at them fighting something in reality, but it actually symbolizes something else. So the first thing we're going to look at is this short film, which I think is funny, but if you look at the little alien, he's actually fighting something that you wouldn't think of. So let's just pause for a moment and watch. Now here's this alien ship trying to abduct this human from a farm. And here's the little alien who's trying to abduct the human. So I'm just going to pause this for a minute. So it looks like the little alien is trying to abduct the human while the larger alien is taking notes. So right away, we can see that the little alien is fighting a lack of understanding of how to abduct this human. And maybe the larger alien is taking notes. Maybe he's taking a test. So in order to be a true alien, he needs to abduct this human correctly. And this is his final exam, let's put it. He doesn't seem to be doing very well. So we could say right away that the dragon, again in air quotes, the dragon that he's fighting is this test. But let's watch a little further to see if we're right. Look at all those buttons. Look at the face of the instructor. He's looking for like a little bit of help. So what sets in now is that self-doubt. Most of you would recognize this, like if you're taking a math test or a social studies test or science test, when you're unsure of that answer, your own dragon would be your self-doubt. You're unsure, your uncertainty, you don't know which one it is. And that can actually be more devastating than an actual dragon breathing fire on you. Because once you lose your confidence, it's hard to gain it back to be successful because you're always remembering how you failed. Look at the look on his face. Now he's giving up. Almost successful. Now look at what he's doing. He's trying so hard to be successful that he just wants to overcome that self-doubt, and he's just digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper into failure. He has a moment of clarity and he thinks he's going to slay his own dragon, but he can't get the human out the window. Finally, he gets him out the window, but he gets stuck in the tree. And finally, he gets him up into the ship. He's almost successful. He has almost slayed his own dragon of self-doubt. A little bit cocky. And he lets go of the button. And he fails. Eventually, the larger alien has to take control and get the human back to where he was. But you see how even the smallest problem could be a dragon for a character to have to slay in the story. It doesn't have to be a real dragon. It could be something as small as self-doubt and losing their confidence. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you watch this short film. It's called The Little Match Girl, and it's another short film. And in it, there's a little girl who is fighting her own dragons. They're not real dragons. They're not real monsters, but she is going through this metaphorically, this fighting with a dragon. And I want you then to go back to the document, and I want you to fill in the answers to the little match girl. Okay, so we're looking at what dragons is she really fighting? Okay, and then I want what evidence from the short story supports your thinking. So again, if we were to go back to that little alien film, what dragon is he really fighting? Well, the little alien was really fighting his self-confidence. He lost his self-confidence, and he was fighting with that as he tried to drag the human into the alien ship. So what evidence from the short story supports my thinking? Well, he wasn't successful in getting the human out the window various times. He tried one button, the human banged into the wall. He tried another button, the human banged into the other wall. The instructor had a mean look on his face, which only caused the little alien to sink further and further into self-doubt until he kind of broke down and pressed all the buttons, and the poor human was going all over the house and banging into walls. He showed some signs of success when he got the human out the window, but then he got him stuck in the tree, and then when he got him into the ship, he pressed the wrong button and the human fell down back to Earth. So that's the evidence I would use to support my thinking of the dragon that the little alien was fighting, which was actually his loss of self-confidence. So again, your assignment for today is to watch The Little Match Girl, and then I want you to think, what dragon is she really fighting? I'll give you a clue. It's not really a dragon. It's something else that she's fighting. And she's actually fighting like two big things in life. And I want you to write down evidence from the short story that supports your thinking. What exactly is she fighting? And how do you know that? What actions is she participating in that actually helps you know that? And then I want you to choose a character from your own fantasy fiction book and tell me the same thing. What dragons are they really fighting? And what's the evidence from the story to support your thinking? So today, I've explained your assignment, I've given you a few videos to watch, and you have your own fantasy book. And remember that characters can fight literal dragons. They can fight these actual monsters in the stories, but they can also fight monsters that truly don't exist, but they're actually fighting other things in their lives, such as poverty or death or jealousy or being left out or wanting to be the same as others. So good luck. Keep on reading, and we'll see you tomorrow.